You learn more, you earn more. It is time for another episode of Ask Pat, where Downing-Frye Realty's Director of Corporate Training helps you become more productive, professional, and profitable in your real estate career. Please welcome Pat Patoki and Cyndee Woolley.
Pat,
Hi,
welcome.
Hi, Cyndee. Great to see you.
Great to see you too.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I have a different backdrop. Yeah, you can see I'm traveling, so got to keep things mobile in this world, right? This new
Well, in this day and age, the good thing is you can really work from anywhere.
as long as you stay connected. Plugged. My plug is in over on the right hip, and keep things
Absolutely.
interesting. What
Absolutely.
about you? What's new and exciting with you?
Well, we've really been, in the midst of a very busy season. People are, it's feast or famine. I think many realtors are just, don't have time enough even to do what they need to do. Others are really working on their other uh, pipeline building tasks like marketing, which I think is for some people key. It's the lifeblood of real
Mhm.
estate, of any business, I think. And I don't have to tell you that because you are a marketing expert. So, um,
Let's talk about something I love, which is marketing, you know?
absolutely. With realtors, you are one realtor in a field of, we have about 7,800 members of NABOR, about 1,300 users of the MLS program. So you're one. You've got to stand out. You got to brand yourself, and you really have to make sure, I think, that you have thought that through. I really wish we could get everyone to, and it's time consuming, and it's probably less busy running around. People love to run around, hate to think. Sit in a chair and really think, who are you as a realtor? Get yourself branded with color, design, knowing what period or range of the market you're working on, and get those systems in place that will help you get your branding out there.
And what you said started down a path of, you've got your color and you've got your iconic, your your icons, but your brand is so much more than that, right?
Yep.
It's the experience. It's
Yep.
it's the segment of the market that you want to be in. It's what you want people to leave feeling with.
Yep.
And whether that's something very down to earth and traditional in Golden Gate Estates, whether that's the island vibe as soon as you cross over
Mhm.
the Jolly Bridge into Marco Island, or whether it's that upscale vibe from Naples, all of
Mhm.
that plays into your branding, and it's so
Absolutely.
important to think through that before you just jump into something, you know?
Absolutely. The tagline that you use really, I think, should convey in few words as possible who you are as a realtor, as witnessed from your customers. What do you want your customers to say about you as a realtor? That really, if you can get people to think that through, and that's really difficult. You can't pass out paper and say, write your tagline. You really have to sort of live with that, and it will come to you in the middle of the night. You'll think of probably 10 different expressions, and then you'll say, that's not right. As soon as you find something that works, you'll say, that's it. That's it. That's who I
You
am.
I had an interesting, meeting with a client recently, and they wanted me to hone in a mission statement, and, I can craft out, anything corporate and get it out there, but I was like, "We really need some
Yeah.
buy-in, we really need the language to reflect the people,"
Yeah.
and, we started a conversation in a group meeting, and 30 minutes, you took you took uh, gosh, I think there were 8 people in the room, and they felt very cohesive about a
Hmm.
message, and there were certain words that just resonated, and it brings people together. So, those words that you put out there as a tagline, those
Hmm.
words that you describe yourself with, that's not just you setting something that you wanna live into, but it's a meaning, it's a reflection that's
Mhm,
gonna attract people, and it can also repel people, so,
mhm.
consciously going through that's so important.
Absolutely. I think it's, um, I've always used, a tagline that I have, but I really do believe that there are times when being in a group, as you say, we get so much more than just, 8 people in the group. We get more than 8 times the thought power. We almost
Mhm.
get, it's almost geometric. We get sort of 40 times. And isn't that wonderful when you have that interaction? And that whole brainstorming thing starts. And I think we can start that. And then I think people have to go aside. I've used the same tagline forever. And it's a distillation of a mission statement, vision statement that my team used, but it captures who I am as a realtor, particularly when I was listing and selling. But once you get that branding done, you've got to think about marketing. You've got to call somebody like you to say, "Gee, Cyndee, I need to get, I need people to come to me like a magnet. I need to attract some people." And to me, marketing, if I had to put it into one sentence, it's all about telling the audience something that they want to hear.
Precisely, and knowing where they are when they wanna hear it, like, where
Yep.
they are in a mindset, not just there's the importance of knowing that they're on the computer or they watch the television or they're reading the print, but what's their pain point up here? What kind of mindset are they in when they go,
Right.
"Man, I need a house."
Right. Right. I see so much advertisement and advertising of realtors that really talks about realtors. And I honestly and truly myself believe real estate is about customers. It really is not about us. And I go back to the 5 W's. We've got to figure out, who am I marketing to? Who
Mhm,
is the audience? As you say, sort of where are they generationally? I believe a lot in generational selling. Um, and, different age groups go to different spots. If I want to reach my children, I'm not going to mail them a letter. I'm just not. Well, they probably won't read it. you know,
Don't look for the
the whole,
card with the money in it,
yeah,
right? The
well,
the birthday card from Nana. I know.
that's, that's an eye opener, but that's about them. Right? The
Mhm,
check's for them. Their name's on the check, not me. So, but I always suggest to people that they go to the 5 W's, the old fashioned. Who am I trying to reach? And where are they when I reach them? Are they on their computer? Are they sitting on the couch? How am I best going to reach that person? When should I do that? How frequently? And all of that. And what the message really I have to craft really requires probably 5 times the thinking, and
mhm.
1 time, one, one fifth of the think time goes into the actual production time of of crafting the message. And you, as a technological guru, know how best to advise us. How can we make it so that people open their emails? We can we know it's important to put the RE section or the subject line. We know it's important that someone know the sender. We know all those things, but we often don't think about those because we're just so hurriedly trying to trying to get out. But I think marketing, I love marketing, especially marketing that's really personalized and really tells me something that I'm really interested in. If I receive a marketing piece and I have immediately, I need to do something or want to do something, I think that's really successful.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Uh,
And, I think this over the past year or 2, I've noticed a shift in overall trends, right? We've had, marketers so focused on baby boomers generation,
Mm-hmm.
and everything really was tailored towards that baby boomer generation. And this year, if you look at the Super Bowl and
Mm-hmm.
look at the hip hop acts that were brought on, there was nothing boomer about that. That was completely the millennial generation,
Yep.
right? So here you're seeing that shift into
Mm-hmm.
this 90s music that's
Mm-hmm.
pervasive everywhere. I was out having dinner with a friend, and we were just in this restaurant, and it's a restaurant, it's got good food. It had 90s, Green Day playing, and it was just a very hippie vibe in that sense
Mm-hmm.
that it
Mm-hmm.
resonated with me. And I know that sounds like kind of a random rant, but it's thinking through what were these
Mm-hmm.
influences, right? That that hip hop culture in the Super Bowl, that wasn't a political statement. That was literally just hitting these millennials, and it caused them all to get up and jump up and start dancing and vibing with the music. So now you're here and you're crafting an email, and you think, I'm sending this email to everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're not sending it to everyone, right? You're
Right.
sending it to a group that's most likely in your audience, that's most likely in a certain age bracket, that is in a stage in their life, and they've got these cues and these things that resonate with them. And
Mm-hmm.
if you can infuse that into the coloring and the layering
Mm-hmm.
and when you're putting your advertisement for the home in there, and you're dropping in some of the special events, there's a very distinct market if you're pointing towards wine tastings and bourbon tastings versus microbreweries and food
Right.
trucks, right?
Right.
So how can you infuse that flavor to where someone sees that email and says, "Hey, there's going to be something really engaging in there." That's where the magic is.
And I think generationally, for example, I believe wholeheartedly in generational selling, and I was super pleased to see the millennial generation, which is predicted and is to be larger than the baby boomer generation, but to see them at finally in the home buying pie chart. They didn't have a huge percentage, but they were there. And I think this past year, and it would be 2020 that I'm talking about because they haven't yet processed 2021, which was just a sort of a crazy aberrant year. But that's the first time millennials showed up, and they showed up as 2% of the buyers
Oh.
because their generation had have it's difficult. My own children are in that generation. It's difficult, I think, to get started. More difficult for them because of the tremendous cost of everything in today's world. But I really think you're absolutely right. I always recommend that people kind of tailor the message to the audience. And you might have the same message, you might have three different ways of saying that so
Mhm.
that the message is received more openly by the reader. And that's really the goal. It's silly for us to keep saying I don't like that, or I whatever. It's really not about us. It's really about what is going to reach my audience and what's going to get them to act. Um, I always try to think of a little kind of a little helpful mnemonic or way of remembering things, and I talk about the four W's, for U's, I should say, not W's, four U's of marketing. One is urgency, so you really have a call to action. You want someone to do something. The fear of missing out on something is real. So you want them to, I need to do something right now about that. So that's the first U, urgency. Being ultra specific. These folks have a lot of information, a lot of misinformation. It's our job to have correct, accurate information, make sure it's ultra specific for what they are interested in.
Mhm.
Second you. Third one is make sure it's unique. Only if something is unique will you really stand out. Whatever everyone else is doing, don't do that. Do something that's unique. And finally, something that's useful. So we have U for urgency, U for ultra specific, U for unique, U for useful. And I think if we had everyone kind of read that and say, all right, I'm going to receive this, and does it pass those tests of the U's? Then I think we'd be successful. I think we'd be successful. And
You
of
know
course, it helps having someone like you to help us, because I know what I want to say and do. Cyndee can tell me how to get it done with some of the technological stuff, but um, that it still has to be the message that's really important. Cyndee has the magic of the means, how we're going to get it out there. So
Yeah,
we're a good team, Miss.
we do. We make a really good team.
Yeah.
One of the things I really love about your mnemonic is, the you, right? So many times we get caught up in our own head and I did this, I can do that, I can do that. And it doesn't matter what you can do. It
Don't.
matters what you need, right? It matters
Yep.
what that other person is. So I love that. Just focusing in on you.
It's I think it's a piece of magic, and if we could get everyone to kind of do that little bit of a test before they send something out, I think we would be in really good position. I really.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, and it's, all of business right now, everything is just so changing, changeable. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring from one day to another, but we're so adaptable. When we went from horses to automobiles, we adapted and changed, and we have to adapt and change. As you say, that was a terrific example of the Super Bowl, because even if that's not your particular most favorite type of music or whatever, it is of many many people, and we've got to sort of embrace that and say, well, maybe that's not number one for me, but I get it, I understand.
I said that was the millennial generation, and I have to semi-correct myself, right? Because two generations butted up and they didn't play well together, so a new generation was born. And so Gen X used to go up to 1980, Gen Z or the millennials started at 1980. And then they decided that 1977 to 1982 would be its own generation. So it's the Xennial. If
Yeah.
you're in that 1980 group, you're a Xennial. I don't want to be flambéed for that, but it just it was a time, and it was such a different time too. So, but these little nuances in how generations are shaped, it's so fascinating to see what pulls them together, because it's not like it's a 10-year period. It's the experiences
Hmm.
and influences, and
Hmm.
that's what moves you, right? So
Absolutely.
you know, I'm going off on a little psychological tangent with people, but it's when you get that the nuances are influencing people, you can help shape that influence and shape that message and weave that into your marketing and weave it into your communications, because that's how you attract people. And but yeah, I would be remiss if I left my Xenials out of the mix. So
Absolutely. Well, I don't know what we're going to call this generation that's been sort of locked up for a year or two. Um, these Zoomers, or I don't know. I don't know. But I think you're right. I don't think 2 years in any other decade have been like the past couple of years here, with the young people having to attend school via Zoom, and some of them, and so on. So we really have to do a lot of thinking about reaching the audience where they are, and what they really, really want. And that's really, I think, the key. It's just that key many, many times isn't used to unlock
True.
the lock. Yeah.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
Well, that's all good stuff, man. We just packed a lot of marketing information into 20 minutes, everyone. So, um, Pat and I are planning to do some more marketing tips and tools so that we can help you utilize the website, downing-frye.com, help you utilize our e-newsletter as a resource for content. DF Agents, I call it DF Agents News because it's our weekly newsletter on Wednesdays. You should get it every Wednesday. If you don't get it on Wednesday, email Andrew. And then we put so much information. We've got resources from our preferred partners that can be used in marketing. We've got tips and tools and marketing trends from Pat. We've got such important updates from our brokers. So I just wanted to give our resources a little shout out. And is there anything I missed, Pat?
I don't think so. I think part of the whole goal today is, I know at our brokerage what we try to do, and I'm sure many others do, is try to give our associates content they can share, and content that is put together in a way that they can share the main idea of the content and it comes through. And I think we work pretty hard at trying to do that. NABOR does that. Florida Realtors does it, NAR, so that there's just right now, just not two or three, but hundreds of marketing tools that could be used. The key is when to use them, how to use them, and it's just as important as what is sent out. But the thought process really comes first, and then there are just hundreds of opportunities for everyone today. And really, that makes it a little more difficult because you have to sort of decide which ones you're going to use.
Definitely, definitely. But I would also love to throw it out there that if you've got a special request, if you have questions about marketing, reach out to Pat or reach out to me, and you can place comments. We're watching the comments. If there's a question that we can answer in a future episode, we're totally happy to do that. So,
Absolutely.
sound good?
Sounds great.
Fantastic to see you today, Pat, and we'll catch you next time.
Absolutely. Wonderful, wonderful to share a few moments.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Ask Pat. You can learn more at Downing-Frye.com and make sure to follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn.